moment so that I can get everything sorted in here. Hi, Julie. Hey, Yuta. Hello, Pam. Sorry, I had to leave your um, stream without saying anything. Um, my stomach decided to act up, and I accidentally left my phone here. And then I already know it's 9:30 and I should be starting. So when I come back, YouTube is acting up. It's always something around here, isn't it? Um, well, let's take a deep breath. Hello, Diana. Um, welcome to my channel. It's Sala from Cards Times Ahead. I see many names that have been here before, but if you haven't, I am a paper crafter. I make all sorts of things. I started as a card maker. That is why my name, Card Times Ahead, is what it is. But these days I make all sorts of papery things, including folios, junk journals, ATCs, which are artist trading cards. You name it, really. Hi, Flo. Welcome, welcome. I also these days design some paper crafting kits suitable for junk journals, card makers, or card making, you name it. um, and this is one of them. This is actually a freebie. Hey, Kati, welcome, welcome. This is a freebie on my coffee shop, and there's the link. I will see if I can get this pinned. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Oh dear. Let's see. I will just type some text before the link because I find that if there's just the link, I might not be able to pin it. No, doesn't. Well, there we go. It just took a long time to get it open. Probably thanks to my old phone. How is the sound? Is everything okay? Can you see well? Are we having any sorts of issues? Hey, Mama Chichu. Hi, Frida. Hello, Esther. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here. It's been a while. So, although I do know that Esther was just commenting on my video recently, so it's not that. It's just a while since I've been speaking to her, it feels like. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. But this is what I was talking about because recently, when I was hanging out with Pam at the Ginger Cat Lady, there was some issues with the stream sound on my end. But it's the exactly same setup that I'm using right now. Same phone, same headset, same me. Anywho, I thought we would make some greeting cards today, or at least start with some of those. With the September Birth Flowers kit that I released, and the link is both in the description of this stream or a video, and also you can find it pinned in top of the live chat if you haven't got yours yet. Oops, that was not a good idea. Although the rubber on these might be great for folding, it seems that it might be leaving some marks. I'll just use my nail because I have seemed to lost my bone folder. Hold on. I guess this is just going to be one of those mornings when I've basically lost everyone or everything, including my mind, probably. So, hold on. Let me try to find a replacement phone folder. There we go. That's fine. How is everybody looking today? Or I was looking at the comments and thinking about that. How is everyone doing today? Goodness gracious. I hope well. I had some activity this weekend. On Saturday, we were on a small road trip to one of the bigger cities in Finland, which is Tampere. We went there to a shopping center. We also did some walking outside. We saw some really friendly dogs, which was fun. It was just a nice weekend. And then yesterday we went to a fall fair or fall market. There were tons of people selling their handmade crafts and also some bakeries selling goodies at their desks or tables, I should say. So it was all fun. Just folding a few card bases. I probably won't be needing this many, but as I'm waiting for people to come in and honestly taking a tiny moment to calm down. So yeah, just prepping a few bases. Those will come in handy later on in my projects, even if I don't use them today. Kati is saying she is drinking her morning coffee and enjoying the slow morning. Oh, you just started your vacation. That's nice. Maybe, I know we talked about this before, but maybe we could get together and craft sometime. We should get back to that subject. So, the kit includes basically 3 elements. But before I get to that, I would like to tell you where I got the idea for this kit. So last week, or probably for some of you guys still this week, because I know many of us are still living in Sunday as it's Monday morning for me. But Bitty Penny was mentioning that she's going to go live with a guest on Saturday. But she wasn't sure who it was going to be because she hadn't asked the guest yet if they were up for it. So I sent her an Instagram message saying, hey, if your guest is not available, please consider me as a backup plan so that you don't have to stress about it. Well, she didn't know it at that point. Her guest was going to be Karen McCoy from Slapping Paint on Paper. But Biddy didn't know that. So she told me that her theme for Saturday was going to be September birth flowers, which are morning glories and asters. And yeah, that's how I got the idea, because I was like, I should probably be prepared for that. And I didn't really have anything related to these in my stash. Well, maybe asters, but definitely not morning glories. So I decided to make a kit just in case. And when I finished it, I obviously shared it with Biddy, saying, "Hey, this is what I'm going to release on Saturday." At It was late-ish on Friday at that point, so I knew that she already had a guest. So I told her she can share it with her guest as well. And she was like, "Oh, that's nice, but actually, I'm going live with Karen and we are going to paint our flowers." So she didn't need this, but I thought it was still a fun idea because I'm really limited in my drawing and painting skills. If you are too, their live is definitely sorry, definitely great for getting ideas how to do some even beginner friendly florals and so on. But yeah, I have tried my best to kind of like keep screening the chat, but it's moving really fast today, which is wonderful. Keep chatting, friends. Um, and yes, Bam is saying she is still living in Sunday exactly. So there we go. And Flo was like, "Oh my goodness, it is Monday. I thought I was still living in the weekend." Well, basically, you might still be. So there we go. So this was my gift for all the September babies and other babies as well, who are probably grown up by now. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much. And thank you for the reminder. Please, everyone, if you haven't done so yet, if you don't mind, please give me a thumbs up because that would help. And yes, I did fussy cut all of them. I like to torture myself like that. No, honestly, I don't think it's too bad whenever I'm watching TV or doing something like that. I think fussy cutting is perfectly fine. But anywho, about the kit. There are 2 pages of morning glories in different colors and style. There are 2 pages of asters. I think these are asters. Now I'm starting to doubt myself about that. There are also 3 pages of sentiments and labels. Let me show you. The sentiments are for all occasions. There are even some blank ones. I have some really general ones like you are in my thoughts, a little something, celebrating you, wishing you all the best. But I also, obviously not here, not too many, but I have sentiments like happy birthday and please notice this, congratulations, not congratulations. I pointed this out in my flip through video as well because I wouldn't want anyone to make a general greeting card and slap this on there and then only notice that the L is missing. It's not a typo. I put that in here in purpose because it's like for somebody who graduates from school. But just be aware there is a punny one in there. I also included some that say things like, hold on. Happy anniversary is there. We have with deepest sympathy for sympathy cards. So not all of these maybe match the kit itself, but I wanted to include multiple sentiments so that I don't necessarily have to include them later because I'm thinking about making this a thing. Like I'm hoping I can, you know, make kits like this for each month. We'll see how it goes. I might not do it all in 1 year. It might take a longer time period to get all the 12 done. And obviously this was a huge kit. I included, I believe, total of 17 pages of backgrounds. So it might be that some months I will just include the flowers. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Esther is saying she will try and use the grayish background for sympathy cards. Exactly. And, excuse me. Of course, you can always print these in grayscale. Like this example, or this one, there's a lot of contrast in the patterns. So I think these two would look great in grayscale. So if you take this, then maybe add some mirror cardstock on the back, this in grayscale, of course, and include some of the more muted flowers like this, or I don't know, maybe make a cluster of them. It would be a perfect sympathy card, I think. So, but yeah, there are definitely some that are much more muted, and I just think this kit is good for all sorts of occasions, which is why I also included multiple different sentiments, not just the obvious happy birthday, as this is the birth flower kit. Bye, Juju. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you sleep well. Okay, we will keep Fat Daddy entertained, I hope. But exactly, yes. Julie is saying in the chat, I need to make more sympathy cards and more cards for males. Exactly. And I think these mixed media style backgrounds are perfect for those as well. Like this one, it would be easy to add some crunch, maybe add your own stamping, whatever, on that background. But I think I should make something, not just talk, because that's probably what you all are here for. But I just wanted to show up the kit a little bit and so on. Anywho, it's pinned on the top of the chat, and it's also available on the subscription if you are watching a replay. There we go. I cut all my backgrounds to be suitable for an A6 standard card base, which is once again about the same as the US standard A2, the really general card base that pretty much all the card makers make at some point. Of course, you could cut them whatever size you want them to be. You could also make it the same size as the card bases. I made mine significantly smaller because I usually like to add an additional matting layer. But of course, I think this would be fine too. It would have a little bit wider white border, which can be fun. There's no such thing as doing something wrong in card making, unless it's not what you tried to do. Then it could be a little bit different. I'm thinking I should probably, hold on, I should set my phone into the charger, or I should charge my phone so that the same thing that happened a couple of weeks ago doesn't happen again, which was my phone shutting down midst of the stream. Had to think what I was trying to say. Oh, thank you, Pam. Yes, I do have other kits as well, and I am working on more constantly. This was kind of like jumped the line in my plans for the digitals because it was kind of urgent. So that's why I released it now. But I am in the middle of making some autumn freebies, and I will also have some Christmas puppies as a kit later on. That is thanks to Pam, because Pam wanted some cute puppies, or she was saying in her live that she needed some puppies, and I was like, hey, I can do that. So I just sent her some really unedited ones, because she was live and she was working on a journal right at that moment. So I wanted to get them to her as soon as possible. I'm just cutting a few pieces. Hi, Heidi. And I'm sorry if I have missed anybody. It's not intentional. There we go. Then I need 2 more cuts, and then we can actually start planning the cards. I do have some forms or frames or whatever, I will show you in a bit, already die cut, but not too many, and maybe not in the right colors, but I just picked my little jar of things like these up in case I wanted to use some of it. We'll see. I do have my dies and the die cutting machine here as well if I want to use something different, but I thought this would be a good start perhaps. I still have tons of fussy cutting to do. I include so many fussy cut images in my kits because I do love them, that often I don't actually have the time to do all the fussy cutting before I'm using the kit for the first time, like today. So I have some greens, some blues, then I have yellows and pinks in the backgrounds. I don't have any pink cardstock here on hand, and I'm not going to look for anything, so I think we will focus on other colors today. Of course, I could use just a moment, especially this a little bit stronger pink. I think it would be fabulous on a black matting layer. As you can see, there's obviously the black lines. You could hand doodle some of your own to add to it, so that's not completely out of the question. But let's see what I like. Yeah, they are. This is, I think, just a Finnish brand. Some really cheap versions, honestly, but I don't know. I like this because they're not like bright. They're a little bit muted, but they certainly do have great colors. Let's see. I do have the yellows as well. I love this. Let's see how that would look on the black. I'm just playing here. I have no clue how many we can get finished today. or it might be that I'm not going to use some of these, but it's good to have some prepared, I think. Let's see. Let's take the... This is a bit muted for the background, but I think if we take flowers that have green on them, it will balance it out. So I'm not too worried about that. And then I think blue and yellow are, they're not contrasting colors, but they're both main colors. So I think they might work too together, but somehow I'm not feeling that today. I think I'll just take another blue one. And I think that's a good start. I also have tons of cut-offs or scraps here on my desk. I think I'm going to use those. You could easily create collaged backgrounds with them as well. That would be fun. But for now, let's set those aside and start working with these. I'm not going to take the card bases yet. Those can wait aside for a moment as well. Oh yeah. Moving. That's quite something. When we moved here, I was so excited because I finally got myself a craft room, which is awesome. But over the years we have lived here, I think we have lived here over 4 years at this point. I have filled everything up. And now I'm again at the place where I don't simply have room for anything, it seems. I never learn. I think I'm going to take one of each color just to draw something out from my desk. There we go. That's 4. Which color do we want to start with? Pink, yellow, green, or blue? Viewer's choice. I'm kind of working as, I don't know. I'm in a way doing a bit of a mass make, but not quite. I will work with these one by one, but prepping your bases and everything ahead of time is a great option and a great way to make the process a little bit faster. If you know that you are always using the same sort of card panel, if you cut them out ahead of time, it will make the actual putting it together process a lot faster. Pam is saying pink. Flo is saying the backgrounds are pretty and very usable. Thank you. I think so too. Well, Kati is saying yellow. Pam is saying pink. Do we have any votes for the 2 others? Or perhaps a backup vote for one of them? Okay. Well, let's eliminate my favorite, blue. Because right now we have 1 for the pink, 1 for the yellow, and 1 for the greens. Okay, second vote for pink. I will just start with that one, and the yellow will be the second one. I'm not sure how long I will be on today. I don't really have any plans, but my daughter comes home at 1 p.m., so that's my time limit right there. I think frames like these make card making really simple because they look pretty, and there's not really much you need to add on top of that. A flower, maybe a sentiment, and that's your card made. But although I actually do like how the leaves from the background are kind of like coming from behind the frame, I still feel like this is maybe a little bit too big for this type of card. So I'm thinking I might want to go with a round one. And these don't really have like any specific way that you have to use these. They're going down, some are going up. So maker's choice really how you want to use them. Let's see, do I have anything else in here? Because I kind of like the idea of using an oval. Great, the mopeds are still racing through the streets in here. I have this, but this is off white, and my bases are like really stark white, so I don't think that's a good match. I also have some of these. Let's take the really shiny ones out because I don't think those are going to be good for today. That is off white too. I don't know. I don't really have anything I like in here. Isn't that always the problem? You have something ready to go, but not quite what you want. I do have tons. Sorry if I shake the table too much there when I got up, but I do have tons of frame dies in a small box here. Hi, Lana. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, Flo tried to make things difficult for me and say blue, but I decided to just go with it instead of making it really painful. Let's see. Thank you, Flo. Thank you, thank you. I like this frame, obviously, because it wasn't one of the ones that I chose. Let's see. And obviously my piece of cardstock might just be... No, I can fit it in here. I can. Watch me. Okay, I need some tape. Where is my tape? There's my tape. There we go. Just a piece. And I will just fussy cut this out real fast. But I have to be careful, because if this moves, then I will just have to do it again. And this piece of beautiful white cardstock will be wasted. Oh, the horror. There we go. So I will be right back on screen, although I have my headset here so I can keep talking. I know, you're not here for the talk, you're here for the crafts, but this is the necessary evil that I have to do. Sadly, the frame that I'm using is from Aggie Art. I bought this well before the war, and it's a Russian company. So obviously not something I would buy again. I could be wrong though. I know Craft and You has many dies like that. Let me put the scraps away. There we go. But yeah, I could be wrong. Because like you can see, I have my dice stored like this. So whenever somebody asks me where's a certain die is from, I might not be able to tell. Some of them are still in their original packages over there, but obviously this is not one of them. Okay, I think that's better. It gets lost a little bit, so I might have to ink it up a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. It helps when I will prop it up. It helps it to stand out a bit more. But now I just have to decide, how do I want to use this? I think I will go this way, just based on how the lines are, because I want my frame to be a little bit towards the top, and then I can maybe later on add a sentiment down here. I don't think I will add any sentiments right now because I seriously have no clue where I'm going to use this. But yeah, I have these different sorts of plain ones, and I also have the other ones that have the text on them. So there, hold on, many possibilities what you could put in here, like warm wishes, congratulations with the L. Depends what speaks to you that given time. Or maybe a little bit plainer one like warm wishes. I think this would be good for the card. Right now it looks a bit lost, but you could glue this on black cardstock and then cut it out again. But like I said, I'm not going to be putting any sentiment here right now because I just don't know. Then we need a smallish flower. This is not too small. I don't think it works too well. I could just put one in there. We'll see, we'll see. I printed these flowers quite big, honestly. I could choose kind of like a wild card. I think it would be great to blend some ink on the middle of this frame as well. That might be a good idea. So many options. And well, this is quite kind of small and it fills up the center as well. So I think I like that. This could quite easily be your card, honestly. It doesn't have to have anything more than that. There's also the blue one. No, I think I just like the pink. Let's see. The struggle is real sometimes. Oh, for sure. I know, Esther, I do have an impressive amount of doily slash frame dies. I do. And that's not all. um, I'm just reading through chat in double speed because I'm behind. and I don't want to miss too much. Um, Esther is saying she only has 5 years of card making supplies, and she understands that if somebody has been crafting for years and years, they probably have a lot of stuff. And yes, always always keep in mind the room that you have to use. When I moved in here, it felt like I had a lot of room and it would never be filled. And later on, I even bought 4 big storage units, or like big shelves on the side of the room, and even that didn't seem to help. So there we go. I could add another flower in here. Would this work? I think it kind of would, but I think I'm just going to make a really simple card because honestly, I'm struggling a bit today. I didn't sleep too well. That's probably the reason why I'm already having a bit of a decision fatigue, if I might say. What do I want to do with this? I was thinking I might want to prop it up, but I think if I did that, I would have to strengthen it up a little bit because it's not too sturdy. It's just printed on my regular, a little bit thicker printer paper that I'm using. It's 160 GSM, so I feel like if I would put double-sided tape or something like that behind this, it would sink in from certain spots really easily. So I know it's going to be so tedious to watch, and I should not be doing things like this while being live, but I will have to glue it on some cardstock and then fussy cut it out again. Yes, Pam, that's what I was thinking. I could ink the edges of the frame, but yeah, I might do that. Not quite sure. My glue is having some problems. It seems that I don't know. There's like a glue twine hanging from the bottle. I guess it was dried up a little bit or something. I don't know. I'm trying to be quite precise when I'm fussy cutting something out because if I'm not, the edges might separate or may separate later on. So that's why I'm trying to be as precise as I can. There we go. But this is then again, let's see. When all the elements are beautiful, you don't need to go wild. While simplicity is beautiful too. Yes, Flo. I have rarely heard any smarter words from you, and you are a smart lady. So that is really, really wise. Um, like Flo was saying, there's beauty in simplicity. Sim- wow, that was simplicity. How about that? I'm probably the only person who can even make simplicity sound that complicated. There we go. Um, but yeah, there's no need to go overboard every time, like have 10 different layers and so on. But I just Whenever I'm live or filming a video, I sometimes get overwhelmed by the feeling of having to make something really great, and then I feel like I'm letting everyone down if I just make like a really regular card. I know most people here probably don't feel like that. Like, lives are for people who just like to hang out with other crafty people for the most part. I know myself, whenever I'm watching a live, sometimes I'm not even paying attention to what is being made. Yes, sorry, Pam, because that has happened to me multiple times while I've been watching Pam. I've been chatting away, and then at some point I've realized, like, okay, so that's what she was making these 2.5 hours, because I haven't really even looked. It's crazy. I'm crazy. I know I'm probably the only one who does that, but there we go. And it doesn't mean that Pam's stuff would not be interesting or that it wouldn't be uh, beautiful. Not at all. I'm crazy like that. Pam is like, gee, thanks. Yeah, exactly. Lives are all about the community, I think, for a big part. Obviously, they are great for body doubling, if that means anything to you as well. So I often, when I'm doing chores, especially these days, because doing pretty much anything seems to be super challenging for me sometimes, or most of the time actually. Um, so watching a live while I do something really tedious, like folding laundry or emptying the dishwasher or something like that, um, it can be a great option. I'm just looking at my pink inks. I don't want anything over the top. Like, I think picked raspberry would be way too much. Worn lipstick. I think this is more like an orangey color. Why not? I think I do have. Hold on. Well, spun sugar, but that might be too light. I should have peach flamingo somewhere. Problem with these boxes, even though I have color sorted them for the most part, is that I have not labeled the outsides to tell me which colors are in where. Because that's, let's see, this is my unswatched. Yes, there it is, I figured. Unswatched box, which is not to be mixed up with the regular boxes, so that's why it wasn't with the pinks. Now I need myself blending tool. There we go. Good night, Yura. Do you mean Victorian velvet? It's a little bit more violet, which might be good, but this is like real pink, so I might like it, I might not like it, but that's what I'm going with today. Yes, that is a scrap piece of paper. Ink blending might be smarter to do on a slick surface, just because you will waste a lot of ink doing it on a surface like that. But yeah, just fair warning. I'm just going to ink around the edges a little bit differently this time. I chose this blending brush rather than just going with my regular ink dropper because I want to introduce this color to the card a little bit more than a dauber would do, if that makes any sense. Like this pink is really different from either one of these. This is like winey red, and the background is more of, well, I guess Victorian velvet-ish, like Pam suggested earlier. So I don't know. There we go. I want to blend it in a little bit more to make it look like it belongs. I hope I'm making some sense. Maybe not, maybe I am. There we go. Just a little bit more. I don't have to worry about the center. And then I think I will blend it here in the middle as well, although you probably won't see a lot of it, and it doesn't seem to blend too nicely on this cardstock that it was just random scrap that I was using for this, so I don't even have a clue what that is. But the results were kind of uneven, but that's fine. You won't see a lot of it anyway. This might help the frame to stand out, or it could potentially blend it even more into the background. We'll see. There we go. It's a little bit more pink, less white now. I do want some of the white to show through though, because I think that will match with the background. Okay, this, sadly I don't have anything to compare this to, but I think it looks a whole lot different already. When I'm going to add a sentiment at some point later on, I will definitely use black because I do want to tie in the black background a bit more. I'm also wondering if I want to add some doodles. I don't know. I could start tying in the black already. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wiggle around the edge a little bit. Just an uneven, really mixed media style frame that I'm building in here. I thought it might go well with the vines and overall style, just to frame it up a little bit. I could have also done some stitching, faux stitching or real stitching with the machine, which would have been glorious. But yeah, not this time. I think I will just add some zigzag here and there. Just for some added interest. And I'm trying intentionally not to make it too matchy-matchy or too even. It doesn't matter that it does not look like real stitching. That's perfectly fine. I think I managed to smear some of it actually, but that's also fine. Okay. I think I'm starting to like it. Yes, the pink plush from the back looks quite nice, but I feel like I need to be more precise with my fussy cutting thanks to that, so be aware. I will just cut off some of the white areas in the middle of the flower, because previously when I just had the flower on the white surface, you couldn't really tell that I didn't fussy cut into these little areas in here. But now that I added the pink, yes, you can tell. I might actually blend the white spots on this as well. So I have no clue what my partner is doing. So if you can hear some strange noises on the background, it's not a burglar, it's the man I actually live with. There we go. Yes, I think it needs a little bit of pink. Um, Kati was saying earlier that because it's rainy in Finland today. Um, oh, by the way, this is oxide ink, not the regular distress ink, so it might make the image a little bit dusty if you get it on the printed basis. Just something to be, or something to keep in mind. I don't want to go too far into the image because of that. I don't mind the stem though. There we go. Not too much, just a little. But yeah, Kati was saying that the rainy weather for her summer vacation or vacation is perfect, because that means she can stay inside and craft all day, which I tend to agree with. I was having the same conversation this summer with someone I know, because they were like, horrible, it's just raining all the time and being like cloudy and all when I'm having my summer vacation. And I was like, I personally have enjoyed it so much that it's not too hot, and I can just sit in my craft room and look outside while it's raining. But that's also, if you can hear the sound of like pouring water, that's because the water from the roof is training right outside my window. I can't, or I don't know the words in English for those round pipes that come from the roof, but they land straight outside my craft room, so there's that. Now I'm propping the flower up with some really, really tiny foam squares that I always use. And like I always say, it's easy to get along with these as long as you press them down really well. I'm using way too much than I probably need to, but that's also something I do. Now let's of course use my good fussy cutting scissors to cut out some of the smaller pieces. Oops, that went completely sideways. What else have I missed? Probably lots. Yes, Dymo labels or Dymo labels for the boxes would be perfect. I've been ignoring it a lot. Mm. Aw, horses. I love horse. No, it was a typo. Julie was talking about horses surrounding them, but she meant houses. So I got excited for nothing. Flo, usually don't either. It's more of a habit to ink the edges because I think that way the images sometimes look more cohesive, more like they go together. Hi, Anna-Marit. I'm on her TV. Let's see what other things. Yes, thank you. Please don't forget that for oh my goodness, don't forget the thumbs up. Those are really much appreciated. Thanks, Spam, for reminding everyone. I'm just looking at the stem. I don't think I can. Um, hmm. Maybe I'll just glue it down. I'll just glue it down. Yes, because I feel like if I leave it this way, it might break. Or would I be able to just add a few really small bits and pieces, maybe like a third, just to support it so that it can stay level to other pieces of the flower. We'll see. This is getting more and more ridiculous all the time. Sorry about that. But tiny bees, really tiny bees. There we go. Let's try to put another one in there. Or on there, I should probably say. There we go. It's so tiny. I posted something on my YouTube posts yesterday. A lovely lady called Carrie at So Much Glitter, the so being in SEW, made a video of her making a card with my Cozy Autumn Mix kit. So if you have time later on, please go give her some love or show her some love. There we go. I'm just pinching these off, trying to be as fast about it as I can. And I'm trying to get them into my trash bin, but I seem to also sprinkle them everywhere, not just in the bin. There we go. Last one. That wasn't so hard, was it? That's a lot of foam squares. Okay. I don't want it to have it like this, like perfectly straight. I want it a little bit sideways, I think. But there we go. That's the good spot for it, I think. Yep. It's there. No, there's no takey backies. Then, do I want to prop the frame up as well? I think I do. But before I do all that, I think I'm going to glue this down. Glue it down. Bye-bye, Esther. Have a nice day. Thank you so much for stopping by. And everyone else too. Thank you for hanging out with me today in this lovely, rainy, craft without a guilty conscience kind of day. There we go. I'm trying to get at least one card done. Oops. I have glue on my on the right side of my paper, and that's not good because I inked it with vintage photo and now it's stuck. I don't know how that happened. Now it's a mess. Now it's an official complete mess. Oh my goodness. I think when I was gluing it down or spreading glue on the other side, I somehow went over the edge and under it. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't even have any like glue erasers or anything like that. Let's see if I can. No. We'll add some black on top of it to cover it at least on the black cardstock. I hope that helps. I think it did a little bit. I'm also awfully far. There we go. Then I will put some dimensionals on this one. There's no way I'm going to put anything on the sides, like the really thin areas of this. I'm just going as far on the edge as I can of the closed oval. And once again, using a lot of these, you probably wouldn't have to use this much, but I have started doing this because I simply don't want anything to sack down. Let's see. Flo, I have heard Pam saying the glue it down part, but I can't do it like she does. Thanks for stopping by, Lana. It was nice to see you. Big, big hugs. Let's see. What is Frida? That sounds interesting, Frida. Why are you test printing? Is there a reason, or are you just doubting your printer, or what's the story behind all that? I'm trying to put it relatively straight and centered. Oops. My weekly lines are not making it any easier, but then again, if it's not straight and if it's not centered, it will probably save me a little bit. There we go. That's the basic idea. Really basic idea. Color. What color? I don't understand. I'm just putting some glue on the back of my black cardstock. I know you can probably see too much of it. You're not missing anything too important. I could have added like ribbon around the, what's it called? Around the panel here, but oh well, too late now. Oh yeah. Yeah, Frida, what kind of printer do you have? If you are planning on getting a new one at some point, I definitely recommend the Epson Eco Tank or Eco Tank. That's what I feel like most crafters are using these days. Yay, Julie! Yay, yay! Well done. So, I think that might actually be the card. Obviously, I could add some flowers coming from the back, or maybe even something like this. There's so many things you can add to a card like this. And without all my should I do this, should I do that, reading the chat, all of that, it would have been much easier to get this done. I want to leave some space for a sentiment. Not sure where. It can basically go to any of the corners, but I think I want to add a few nice little diamonds or whatnots in here. So let's take my Studio Katia box out and see if I have a color that I would like. How about these? Yeah. These will be quite muted in here, but I think it's just what this card needs. I need a big one. Come on. Come on. Come here. Oops, now flipped it on the back or on the wrong side of the... Come on. Oh, I actually think those might be the biggest ones. I don't know. I'm not an expert. There we go. Now we have... Because I feel the biggest one in this particular color is a lot smaller than the big ones in the others. Like you can clearly see there's a huge difference. That's why I was looking for a bigger one when there wasn't really one to find. How do I want to place these? That's another question. I think I want the smallest one. Hang on, where's my tool for this? I do have a tool. Let's use it. I want the smaller one here and the bigger one, or the medium one there. And then I want the bigger one on the top and the smaller one at the bottom. I think that's how I'm going to place them. Do I want that there or do I want it here? I don't know. So many options. So many options. If somebody still is dotting things, I have no clue what I'm making or doing today. Okay, let's glue these on the background. I don't want to keep dotting myself or doubting. Yeah, they're down. Feel like it's still missing something. Well, maybe I'll just leave it. Nice thing about cards, all the way to the point where you give them away, you can keep adding things or doing different things. Let's see. HB Eco Tank. Even if you don't have the money for decent printer, don't buy an HB. I think that's what Bitty Benny is using. I think it also has a lot to do with the paper. Like if you are using photo paper, it will come up a lot different than it would on regular paper. I have no clue how the card is looking to everyone else because on my screen here it looks fine, but when I look at my older phone that I'm using for comments, it looks a whole lot different. So it looks more muted there. Anywho, that's the first card made, and the yellow one was the second one, yes. But let's see what I want to do with that, because I kind of want it to be faster than the first one. I will put the Kitsch Flamingo back because I don't want to mix it up. There we go. I should swatch the rest of these that I have here on the box. I have quite a few that I've bought and haven't really used because, yeah, I want to do the swatches first. But now for the yellow, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. Maybe I will just hold on to the idea of finding the right ink. Ugh, go there, go down. I'm just setting them on the floor. There we go. I will think about the ink later on because I'm not sure what I want to use here. So, black background again. Don't be afraid of the black, people. It can look nice. Do I want... Ooh, I actually like... I think that looks nice. What else? What else? I think we could use like 2 different colors. This feels really simple to me, so I think what I will do is I'm trying to find some sort of a texture stamp. I just feel like the background needs a bit of something, like text or... Hold on. I have tons of stamps, but whenever I need to find something, I don't feel like I will find the exactly right one, if that makes any sense. I don't want anything that says circus. I don't think that would make... Oh, goodness gracious. I have built too many piles of cardboard boxes and all sorts of things in here, which has led to the point where I really can't find what I'm looking for, especially because it's, well, my stamps are behind a pile of cardboard boxes. I know this is pretty uneventful for you all because you can see what I'm doing and what I'm digging here, but honestly I don't think you want to see all this. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. Give me just one background text stamp, please. I don't want to have any tickets. I have tickets. I don't want to have sentiments. I have those too. I have letters. I have labels. I have all that, but I don't want any of it. I want... Okay, this is really not what I want, but I'm going with it because that's... I can find it. I can find it. That's why I'm using it. And I think I'm going to go on this with some black ink, but kind of like off printed version of black, not the really stark black that I usually get from Frank Clair. This is Nocturne. There we go. Just going to ink it up a little bit, and then I'm going to stamp on the side here. Don't have to be perfectly out of it, but yep. And then I'm going to press it on my background, and you can probably even see it because there we go. Now you should be able to see it. But yes, I definitely recommend the Epson Eco Tank. They can be a bit moody sometimes, Eco Tanks I mean, but overall experience is really nice. There we go. I think I will do that side like that, and then that side like that. There we go. Just some light texture stamping in there. I'm not sure if I made it even too strong. Honestly, it's a bit overwhelming now, but I think we can embrace the mixed media aspect of it now, and maybe do some doodles. Because as cool as this is right now, that way, it does get lost a little bit, the leaves I mean. So let's see what we can do. I will kind of follow the patterns on this paper, not quite. I will just kind of like outline things, and I'm trying not to be too precise, just making some doodles. I'm holding my pen from the end of it because that really stops me from being too precise. That's not the point here. Maybe even, no, sideways don't work because this is gel pen. You could do this with your left hand to make it even more interesting. There we go. I'm intentionally trying to go around the leaves, the original leaves, because I'm trying to highlight them. I'm not trying to trace them or make them perfect. It's just, I feel like this brings more to the mixed media feel that I'm going for. I do want the leaf motifs be kind of sharp though. There we go. Then let's see. Thank you, Pam. So this is the difference. Here I have doodled around the leaves a little bit, and here I have not. This is perfectly fine, but with the script stamp that I added, it simply won't show as much as these will. I think the doodles help the text to go back onto the background like it's meant. There we go. I will just try to be more quick with this. There we go. Now I'm holding the pen like I usually hold a pen. Trying not to be too precise still. There we go, just a few more leaves. Okay, that's it. Then you need to start clustering. Now that I went all through the trouble of placing the, or framing, you saw what I did. I don't want to hide all of it. It's still a background. There's no need to be too fancy or too precious about that. But I don't want to hide all of it still. I want this to be kind of like a vine. Obviously, there are two different colors. If I wanted, I could make them the same color. Let's see how that would look like. I think that might actually be better. Yeah, I think I like that more. Maybe not that version, but for example, this version. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to glue them down. It's white, and these both pieces have white areas. So hold on, where's my cutting mat? I think I want to open the centers just a little bit. Not all of them. I'm not that crazy, but I will just simply cut some pieces off so that the background will show more, and also so that it's not too obvious that they're uncut white areas in there. I don't mind these smaller ones, but bigger ones like this, that is so and so, I will cut that out. It would take forever to cut this whole thing like this, so I'm not going to do that, but I will get rid of these bigger ones because I think it's worth it. There we go. I'm trying to mind my fingers. There's the second or third one. What else do I want to cut? Definitely this. Aw. Good night, Flo. I hope your sleepy sleep time will be successful. I will see you next time. This week's Friday, I will be going live in a more decent time for my friends in the US. I haven't kind of made my mind up yet for what time that's going to be. I know it's a horrible time for Pam because she is a night owl, so she might still be asleep at that point. Unfortunately, my mod will be gone. Anyway, it's probably going to be 6 p.m. my time, which is 8 a.m. Central. So I know many people tend to miss my lives because they happen in my morning time, but I do try to go live on other times as well when I get a chance, but technically those times don't happen too often. Like right now it seems like I do an evening live like once every 2 weeks or so, but that's not like a permanent thing. I just go live when I can, basically. Okay, I like that. Let's go with that. I'm not going to worry about any inking. I actually might want to add some black ink on the edges of the background, but not for these flowers. There we go. Even if you don't print these papers, you can use the same techniques that I used on this one for a jelly print or something like that. So if you have an uneven warm yellow or basically any other color background, you can just doodle some loose leaves on it like I did here, even if you didn't have the leaves ready on the paper, and so on. Or you could first use a leaf stencil and then do doodles on that. Options are limited or unlimited, and well, I guess I could say sky is the limit. So many options. And then just add some stamping and so on. I think I want this to go. How did I put it at first? Well, let's just put it like that. Doesn't really matter. There we go. I still have plenty of the vines showing on the back. I could even add some, I don't know what, some extra leaves here, like so. I don't have to follow the original plan here. Let's see. There we go. I could even add some veins to those. I don't think I want to add more because, well, maybe in here. Because why not? I said it. You can doodle even if you don't have the leaves there. So I just added some really light leaves here and there. I even did some veins on the leaf. That's it. Then I'm going to cut. Let's see. Pam is saying, could you do an hour earlier? It would be right after our members only live and I could stay for about 2 hours. Yeah, of course. Of course. Like 7 a.m. Central Time. Is that what you were thinking, Pam? I don't have plans for that evening. The reason why I thought about 6 at first, because last time I did my evening live at 5, and I think that started exactly when Dawn's live started with tea. Dawn is the Crafty Visage, I think, and tea is Tracy from Not Afraid of Color, Tracy Fear. Yes, exactly. 5 p.m. is 7. Yeah. Yes, that. Yep. Yep. Hold on. Yes, my 4 p.m. would be 8 a.m. Central Time. So 6 is actually 10 a.m. Central Time. I know there's the 8-hour difference between me and Central. So yes, I said incorrectly at first. My 6 p.m. would have been 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Central. And if I do mine on 5 p.m., that would be 9 a.m. Central. And Pam is saying it's say 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So let's say 5 my time, which is 7 a.m. Pacific and 9 a.m. Central. There we go. Sadly, it might again cross with their live, but like I've mentioned before, I don't do that on purpose, but the times when I can go live outside my usual morning time, they are quite limited because I can't do lives whenever my kids are at home. There's just too much noise. And not only that, I just family time is family time basically. Sometimes I do evening lives on special occasions outside my regular family is not home kind of occasions. Um, of course, at those times they usually go somewhere so that I can go live in a quiet environment. But usually I'm not able to do that too much. So I hate to overlap over other people, and I'm really sorry when I do. But yeah. And of course, people have their free will. They can go wherever they go. And I don't think Tracy and Dawn usually go on too long. At least last time when I did my live, it was like, I don't know how long, 3.5 hours, I think, something like that. I think we started at the same time, Dawn and T and me. But at the end of my life, I think I saw Dawn there in the chat. So, but yeah, I know there are so many lives on YouTube. You are always going to go live at the same time as somebody else. But I don't like to do that for friends. Especially and not only because it's for a big part the same people that hang out in both places. So it's less viewers for both if I do it at the same time. But anywho, there we go. I could add a sentiment here. I could add a sentiment there, or just across like a small thing there, maybe a tiny thing in here. Or I don't think it necessarily needs a sentiment. But what it does need is some flat back pearls. What color do I want to use? I think the blackest black might be a bit stark. Well, why not? It's not too bad. But how about these sparkly crayons? I think that's a bit of a wrong color. I could always do just silver ones. No, doesn't match the theme. I don't think. Well, I will go with the black. Black is good. I think I will add a few more than I usually do to this one. Let's see. I am behind on chat. Oops. I do have a list, but not everyone, and I need to update with some. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, that's good. Pam is saying that Dawn is doing less time online starting this week. It's not a permanent thing. I don't think, but um, at least for this week, she will be on less, so it's possible that she doesn't do her live. We'll see. Just I don't want to. It's probably silly to think like this because I know most people don't really care at all if they happen to cross somebody else's um, screen time. But like I said, when it's about friends, it's about friends. Where do I want to put these? Let's see. Do that. Hmm. Thinking something like that. I could be here all morning and afternoon and evening trying to replace these gems perfectly and change my mind every time. So maybe let's avoid doing that. Just, I'm not sure about this gem. I don't, doesn't really seem to have a place. Maybe if I, no, no, let's just, let's just do it. Let's glue them down. There we go. Oh no. It's always sad to lose a pet. They really are like family. I try to think, I try not to think about it too much because, but these days it seems like everyone has lost a pet. Um, Tracy and Bill from Mindless Crafting lost their dog, and I don't know. Just I've noticed it's been, well, obviously there are tons of pets even in the crafting community, so it's natural, I guess, that it happens from time to time, but still, it's sad. Really, really sad. I feel bad for the people. But I guess that's the thing about having pets. I think when we take them, we all know they're not going to live as long as we do. So at some point, it's time to say goodbye. It's not fun, but it's a fact. I do have my own guinea pigs. They're not quite the same thing as. I'm just going to add some stitching because why not? Um, Not the same thing as cats or dogs. They are a bit social, but not as social as cats or dogs. They are live in their cage or in their area. I know some people have them roaming free in the house, but I know I'm horrible this way, but I don't have to have, or I don't want to have guinea pig bee all over my living room and so on. So ours live in their cage. Um, so it's not quite the same thing, but it was still devastating about a year ago when I lost my, well, the first one of the four guinea pigs. We had two back then, and after the guinea pig passed, we got two more so that we aren't in a hurry to get a companion for yet another lonely guinea pig anytime soon. Because guinea pigs are herd animals, and human company will never replace their need for guinea pig friend. So if you have a guinea pig or are planning to get a guinea pig, you have to take 2 or more. There we go. The black faux stitching might be a little bit too much, but hey, it's fun. Just finishing up here. Do we want to make a third cord, or I don't know. I'm kind of, my mind is a bit blank. Blank today. I don't know why. I guess it's because I didn't sleep too well, but that's the 2 cards we have made so far. And here is the latest version with some doodles and mixed media style. I haven't used any of the asters yet though. Maybe I should do a card with those. I do have the green one next in line. Maybe I will do at least one more. Yay! Now you know what works, Frida. Let's see. I'm just reading the. Thank you, Julie. I'm reading the comments here. Not the Holy Grail, but he found something about the printer. Yeah, printers can sometimes be. I don't know. Okay, another one. Let's see what we want to make with this one. Do I happen to have any green backgrounds? I don't think I do. Because honestly, I don't use green that much in crafting. It's been a long while since I fussy... No, not I didn't fussy cut these. I die cut them. And I just wanted to get rid of some scraps. I think I should do the same thing here soon with some of the dies that I actually use. I know the gray doesn't match match the what's it? Come on, green too well. Nor does this. But I think we might have to do the die cutting again out of the green cardstock. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I wonder if I would build like a flower field here. Like just build this up with flowers. Let's see how that would look. Some taller ones in the back. There we go. And then some shorter ones here. I think that would be fun. Put that there. I do have tons of blue ones. I could even play with the arrangement a little bit so that they don't all grow straight. Why not? I think that would be fun to even use Yes, this one is a freebie. You can get it from the top of, or there's a link pinned on the top of the live chat. And it's also, I think I included the shop link on the subscription of this video. Yay, Frida! Congratulations! Congratulations! Let's see, what else did I miss? So yeah, after my live, we are hopping over to Pam. Other, I mean, either my viewer number just went down significantly, or there are only 3 people watching. And one of them is my own phone, so let's see. I think this is too much. If I put all of them, it's too much. But what if I just put 3 of them? Like so. I think that's more. I could even add like ripped piece of paper or something in here. Maybe use one of my scraps. Let's see. What do I have? Do you have this? Yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use the 3 of these because I think it would be too much to put the smaller ones in the front. Let's see. Who's or how? Oh, right. Frida was saying that Pam is nice, and Pam was like, shh, don't ruin my reputation. Well, Pam is really nice. She's also super supportive, or always super supportive towards other crafters, and she has built a lovely community on her channel. I love the lives there. Some really nice and some really feisty people hang out in there. Not too many of the feisty ones, though. Probably just me. There we go. I'm trying to get rid of the, what are these called? The centers. I don't know why, but I feel like whenever I go live, all my ideas just disappear. Or I get a lot of ideas, but I feel like they are too much to make it happen, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know. It's just odd. That's all. I think I will actually make them as tall as I can. There we go. And then glue something like a little strip in here. I think it's fine. There was some white that I still wanted to get rid of in here. Well, that's a good technique, Pam. I should do the same, I guess. Pam is saying that she always starts, well, not always. She starts a live with no ideas, and then she makes people give her ideas. Trying to keep in mind that there might be still some people watching these lives on a replay. So that's why I'm not just replying to the comment, I'm also explaining here and there what the comment was about. I try to keep that in mind, at least. I don't think I always do a perfect job when it comes to that. There's so many things to keep in mind whenever you go live. Like, um, of course, it starts with the links. When you go live, you need to have the links that people might want. If you have any products on or so on, of course, I have a fabulous moderator who can get some links for me and post them in the chat. But yeah, then you need to kind of have all the items you're going to need at hand when you get started. Of course, there's often like die cutting or something like that that you might not be prepared for. You have to have some sort of a basic idea of what you are going to make. Not It might not be like a complete full idea. Sometimes what I do is I come here and I have a few different options to work with and I ask what people would like to see. Then there's of course the sound quality. I always use a headset because I don't want there to be any echo of my own voice. So if I would just have my device over there with some sound on, if I went live with somebody else, that is like more like so. Um, Headset is kind of crucial, and of course for me, whenever I go off camera to get something, it's good to have a headset or a mic attached to your shirt or something so that people can still hear you. And of course, if you go to the bathroom or something in the middle of all that, you probably want to take the microphone off when you go. Just saying, I've been on a live. I haven't done it myself, thank goodness, but I have been in a live where the person forgot to do that. So yeah. And what else? It's just, of course, when you do the actual live, you have to make sure to listen or see what people are saying every now and then. And when you're crafting, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. So yeah. So many things to remember. I just cut the stems off from where they were hanging off the page. I thought I would add a strip of paper in here, like so, but I don't think it makes much sense after all. Let's see, I do have other options. Obviously, I don't want to use that one because it's the same paper, although why not? It just would get lost. I have some yellow. No, I don't want to add another color, so based on that, my only option pretty much would be pink from the background papers or just another shade of green. I don't know. Not feeling it, honestly. I thought I would be feeling it, but I'm not. So what I think I'll do is I'll just forget about the scrap or the piece of paper here. I don't know. This could be fun, but I don't think there's a point in me doing that, really. Right now, the flowers are kind of like growing, even though this piece will be on my frame piece, which is the green cardstock on the back, it kind of feels like these are growing from behind that frame piece. But then I want to leave the flowers uncut. I think I will have to trim this off a little bit when I put this on a card base. But for now, I'm going to leave that like it is. I'm just going to glue this down. I can always add some more embellishments if I want to, like the flatback pearls, or I could I could add some ribbon on this, but I honestly, I don't know. I just feel a little bit weird today, so I'm not sure if I want to go down in the rabbit hole to hunt down some ribbon in a color that might somehow match. Of course, it could be just U-twine or something like that, like really neutral, supporting the nature theme that I've got going on in here. Wouldn't have to be necessarily like satin ribbon or anything like that, but I don't know. Let's see. I think I kind of want to glue that down as well. I'm trying to just get a dab of glue in there. There we go. And then do the same on the other side, just so that it will be glued down properly. There we go. Now there's glue in there, but it doesn't matter. This is going on a card base. Yay! Julie is making fried marinated chicken and veggies. Marinade, lemon, oregano, and other herbs. Yummy! I've been really enjoying Kiev's chicken recently. It's like I'm losing my words. It's a chicken fillet that has been filled with herbs, kind of like paste made of herbs, and then it has like a crusty topping. The chicken fillet, I mean. I'm not making that myself. It's it's store bought when I have it, but it's just honestly with my regular state. Obviously, we have to cook because we have kids, but often for lunch when the kids are not home, they do have full meal at school and daycare. So at lunch we often have some sort of like cheat meals. Because I think it's, well, it's right now it's important to save energy wherever we can when it's not away from the children or anything like that. So the butcher marinated it. Well, that's good. Much less work. I will take my desk bin to trim this off because I don't want to make a mess of my desk. It is already enough of a mess, I would say. There we go. Now, I feel like I want to add some doodles for this one as well. Theme of the day, doodles. There we go. Off to doodling we go. Just think it adds quite a bit. Looks nice. I probably should have done this before I glued it down, but you know what they say about hindsight. And at least right now I can avoid this spot. I don't have to, so to speak, waste time on doing things that will get covered. So there we go. And just following loosely the same idea of the pattern that the paper has, but not too carefully because I want there to be a bit of a difference. There we go. One more. Do I want to add some here as well? I think I do. This is going to be a bit tricky because they are the flowers on top of the vines already, and I don't necessarily have to mess or want to mess that up, but I will just add a few doodles. Even if it looks like they have been cut in tiny little pieces. There we go. Just doing some on this side as well, and then I think I will call this card done. I don't know if I want to add any gems to this. I might not. I could add some of my own additions to this just to make it more personalized, I guess. There we go. Do I want some in here as well? I think I do. Okay, not too much. There we go. I could add some like a glitter glue, what's it called? Stickles in here, maybe in gold, but I'm not sure if I want to. Do I want to frame it? I think I do. We'll just add some loose doodling again. There we go. For this part of the project, shaky hands are definitely a plus. Because that helps with keeping this uneven. Because like I was saying yesterday when I was watching Desiree from Include a Thank You or at Include a Thank You, she was saying anyone can draw a squiggly line. I was just, yeah, unless you want to keep it, or if you are not trying to do a straight line, it will probably come out as a straight line. At least for me. So yeah, that's the third card. Like I've said, this is... Bye bye, Chili. Thanks for joining. Yes, Kathy can write and speak. Well, I don't know about speaking because I've never heard her speak, but she can speak, or oh my goodness, she can type a lot more English than she leads on. Hi, Dai. Okay, so that is 3 little simple cards made in different styles. Now we're gonna like, I feel like I want to add some doodles in here as well. It already has the black, so why not? Let's do some doodling. Like I said with the previous card, it's always nice to, you know, do this before you have glued anything down, especially because you have more room to work that way. But hindsight, but I definitely felt like this needed some of these same loose doodles that I've done in these previous ones. So here we go. I will add my own leaf there. There we go. Feel like I feel like this needs a little bit more even something, because like I said, it just feels awfully plain. Maybe I will just simply add squiggly line and leaves in here. Doesn't have to be precise. I think I just ruined this. Well, I will squiggly line, or I will trace my own doodles so that they look more like the other ones in there. There we go. Oh, it's not too bad. One more. There we go. Now it has just a little bit more filling towards the bottom. I feel like I should do some in there as well. So let's do it. Why not? Just a few. I'm trying not to go too crazy here, but there we go. Okay, now it's all like a matching jungle. Hi, Jennifer. Yes, this one or this kit is a freebie. You can get it from the link pinned on top of the chat. Thank you for the reminder, Pam. And if you hold on, I will just try to see if I have these papers. There we go. There's a small sliver of that one too. Do I have a bigger one? Do I? Yes. Yeah, it's also in the subscription, or my shop link is subscription box of the video. So original ones. Here I added the stamping and the doodling. It was a lot plainer, less busy before I started. And for the green one, I also added the doodles. So same thing here. It changes things up a bit. And for the pink one, because of the inking I did on the edges, it looks like completely different paper, especially after the doodles. So there we go. I think I will stop here because I don't know why. I just feel really drained today. It's probably because it's Monday and I did not sleep too well, but yeah. Please don't forget the thumbs up Those are always appreciated. Thanks, Pam. Um, and yes, I will be live on Friday. I will also I mean, pre-schedule that. If you have any ideas what you would like to see or which one of my kids or somebody else's kids you would like me to play with, let me know. I'm thinking I might be doing some design teamwork then. Hi Shay, sadly I'm just I'm going bad. I was just explaining that I will do another live on Friday. So in 5 days at my 5 p.m., which is, hold on, I will try to do the math real quickly. I think it's 9 a.m. Central Standard Time US and 7 a.m. Pacific Time and probably 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I think. Yes. I hope the math made some sense. I will pre schedule it so that you can take a look and don't have to count on my mathing skills. Halloween. Oh my goodness, is it time for Halloween yet? We'll see, we'll see. I make no promises. Actually, I do have a fun kit from Petals and Parchment that I could be working with, so maybe I will do that in a Halloween style. I don't know. I haven't decided. I make no promises yet. But there we go. Thanks for joining me today. It was lovely to see you all. And now I think Frida from. Hold on. I will go back and see if I can find a message from her. I think Frida said that she will be going live after my live here, so I will just grab a link and drop it in the live chat. Oh, yeah. Pam already did. Thank you, Pam. But there's the link if you want to go see Frida's live. She's a lovely person as well, so I will hopefully see you all there. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you on Friday when it comes to my own lives. Bye for now.